What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm over here at DV's and we have a special guest from Florida. Charlie! So my viewers, you probably recognize Charlie. He's with us on this 318 project build. He brought a whole bunch of goodies that I'm getting ready to show you, and we're getting ready to make some progress. So let's take a look and see what we got. So as you can see, we have all kinds of stuff here. Okay, tell me a little bit about these three intakes.
Sure. This is the single plane. This is the horrendous two-plane truck manifold. By the way, this one, trying to make enough plenum volume, I actually put a hole into the EGR passage. So if you want to run this on a real vehicle, that's going to need to be filled with something. You can probably fill it with something that can handle the heat.
That is the TBI.
This is the TBI. Notice it has a 4-barrel adapter on it. The nice man that gave that to us, oh, I can't think of his name. Casey. I texted him today. Casey hooked us up with this, the spacers, the gaskets, everything. And I did a ton of work to this. This will actually make pretty good power.
I think so. You can just tell. This will make
pretty good power.
I could just tell by looking at the runner layout compared to that hunk of junk.
Oh, there's no comparison. Look at how much bigger these are.
Yeah.
I mean, we should put them the same direction. You can see the branch differences, right? Yeah. Look at how this is bulged out here. Makes a huge difference in the way the air can turn. It's a much better intake.
So I think we've decided that this is the one we're using to try to make our power.
Our first power pole, yeah, that's it.
And then coming over here are the exhaust manifolds. Now these are what, mid 70-ish, I guess?
They actually match this EGR intake, and I don't know if, I think they were the 302 heads because I think they were for the 302. I'm not 100% sure, guys, because I'm not a Chrysler guy, but I think this intake was on those 302 heads. I don't know why you would put such a bad intake manifold on such nice heads, but that's what it was.
So moving right along here. So funny story, when I came over yesterday, Charlie had the parts laid out here, and I'm talking to Rob, Charlie's friend, and I look out of the corner of the eye and I see this rusted crankshaft, and it was like, I wish someone could have got a picture of my expression, because as an old school Mopar guy, I knew right away what it was. Not many people would get excited over this, but what you're looking at here is a 318-3 forged crank. I haven't put a mic on it. Is it standard, or do we know what it is?
I don't know.
Anyways, the key to this is this is not drilled. You notice how the throws are not drilled here. This is an industrial style crankshaft. All the RPM all the time. That's what this means for us. So this little piece is a nugget that came from the original 318 heads that Tony sent, and like I said, they really wasn't usable, so we cut them up to look and see how thick the deck was. David shaved it to reduce it down to pretty much a no quench or no open chamber here, to try to make it a quench chamber. The problem with doing that is getting an intake to fit, and push rod length, valve train geometry, stack tolerances, okay? And since we're trying to run multiple manifolds, when you want to run multiple intakes on an engine, this thing has to be somewhat modular in design, meaning that we can rip it apart on the dyno and put it back together and not have to spend a ton of time getting parts to fit because of all of this extra milling on the deck surfaces. That's the reason why the longer rod. It makes sense, okay? But once I seen Charlie's cylinder heads, I knew that we were in business. Anybody who's ported cast iron cylinder heads knows how hard of a job that is. And when you look at these heads and see the amount of work that's been put into this, all you have to do is go to Charlie's channel. Oh yeah, by the way, stop right now. Go to Charlie's channel, make sure you subscribe to him, and you can go back and watch all of these videos that he's done on these cylinder heads and all of the work that he's done on the intake manifolds. Because really, he's the unsung hero of this project, in my opinion, because he's been doing all of the work thus far. I just get to put the masterpiece together, okay? That's just the way I view it. He's done the hard work, the research, the development. I get to figure out how to make all the pieces fit in the puzzle. But take a look at these cylinder heads. And I don't know if the camera will do it justice. And to all the Mopar people, that is a 675 casting cylinder head. And that is actually what we're going to run on the dyno. The first configuration is going to be all of the stock 2-barrel parts. I'm even wanting to paint it up and make it look like it came off the assembly line. That's how much work I want to put into making this engine look the part. And then once we get our power numbers, we're going to tear it apart on the dyno. And I think it would be cool to make it look like a day 2 type build, you know, like the Cal Custom valve covers, the old school or modified production engine, you know what I'm saying, with the tunnel ram.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I think, but here's the deal. A plan without any action is just a dream. And what we have come up with is we have a plan and we have action to make it a reality, okay? The camshaft is right here. We got to do some research on this, and I think Charlie said that he was going to look it up, but this is an old school, new old stock, General Kinetics camshaft. I'll even show you the part numbers if it'll show up. A6H. It is 240, 250 advertised duration on a 107. That should build a good bit of cylinder pressure. Now, the one caveat that we really haven't talked about is what kind of fuel we're going to run in this. Honestly, I don't care, because as the engine builder, I'm going to try to get as much compression as I can get, because that's going to be the key for this engine making power. Anytime that you've got restricted intakes and tiny carburetors, whatever you get, you got to squeeze it to the max. Don't believe me? Go talk to any circle track racer. They'll tell you that. But this is some pretty cool parts too. This is awesome. Custom spacers that were made by viewers of Charlie's.
Brian made that up for us.
Brian. Big shout out to you, Brian. That'll give plenty of plenum volume there on that intake. We got all kinds of different things that we can try. And look at the textured valves. I'm really curious about that.
I think it's going to help.
I do too. I really do think it's going to help. So my last point before I end this video is, a lot of people talked about, oh, we should give Tony back the engine. And y'all were right. I'm going to take Tony, the original block here, back to him, and parts that he brought, and then we're starting from a clean slate. And I'm really excited about this for a change. I think we're going to come close to our power goals. You know, I'm not going to throw out an exact number. I'll let y'all do the guessing on that. And whatever it is, it is. Me personally, I would love for it to beat a stock 340's power numbers, which is 275. Can it be done? We'll find out. And when we put the man camshaft in it, the man bump stick, the tunnel ram, and really let this thing eat, I want to see close to that number right there. So, exciting stuff going on here at David's. It's always an honor to get to see Charlie.
We had such a great
Carla here. That's his daughter, by the way. So, until next time, this is Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage.
Night, guys.
Night.
Catch y'all later.